The Vanguard ripped out of warp space with a thunderclap of bending metal and flaring light. Captain Aela Monroe gripped the armrest of her command chair as warning chimes flared to life. "Status," she snapped. "Multiple wrecks," Raj Patel, her engineer, reported. "Alien ships, mostly Accord cruisers. No survivors on comms. All static." Aela stood, stepping forward as the view on the main screen stabilized. The silence on the bridge deepened. The wreckage floated like shattered bones above the green-blue sphere of Zerid Prime. Fires still flickered on one of the larger hulks, its engine core ruptured and spinning silently. Aela's jaw clenched. "They got here first." A moment later, the sensor officer muttered. "Energy pulse. Weak, but steady. Planet's surface. Centered on the ruins." Of course. That's what everyone had come for, the Zeridian Vault. An ancient site buried beneath the planet's crust, believed to contain lost pre-Accord technology. Rumors called it a weapon. Others whispered it was a key. Visuals? A shimmering dome flickered into view on the screen, a force field, faintly golden, encasing a mountain-sized structure protruding from the surface like a claw. Lieutenant Decker turned to her. "Orders? Drop us into low orbit," Aela said. "Keep us cloaked. I want eyes on the Varn fleet." They didn't wait long. 3 crimson-hulled warships materialized from fold space, Varn design, unmistakable. Twin-spired dreadnoughts that looked more like sea monsters than machines. Their black insignias glowed against the hulls, blood-red and jagged. The screen lit up again, this time with a comms request. "Patch it through," Aela said. The image resolved into a harsh-lit chamber aboard the enemy flagship. Arch-Commodore Threx Kalar sat like a serpent on a steel throne, gold armor gleaming, eyes like dull coals. "Ah, the Earth Captain," he said with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. "I assumed your kind would be scavenging the debris by now." "We're not here to pick bones," Aela replied evenly. "We came to honor the treaty. Your presence violates Accord jurisdiction." Threx let out a slow laugh. "Spare me. This system is no longer under Accord protection. It belongs to whoever claims it first. And you, little ape, are too late." He ended the transmission without waiting for a reply. Aela stared at the empty screen for a second, then turned. "He's right about one thing, we're outgunned. But I'm not leaving without knowing what's under that shield." Raj nodded. "We've been analyzing the energy signature. The structure below isn't just some old ruin. It's alive. It's running diagnostics." "So the vault is active?" "Yes. And it's responding to our presence. It pinged us when we came into orbit. Nothing else. Just us." "Us meaning humans?" Raj nodded again, slower this time. "Only humans." Silence settled over the bridge. "Prep a scout team," Aela said. "I'm going down there myself." Decker frowned. "Captain, with all due respect, this isn't a debate. The Accord sent diplomats and scientists last time. They got vaporized. We're doing this the human way. Fast, quiet, risky." A few hours later, the dropship Talon broke through Zerid Prime's cloud layer, skimming just above mountain ridges and canyons. The shield dome loomed ahead, half buried in mist. Lightning sparked off its surface. Inside the cockpit, Raj monitored energy levels. "It's fluctuating. Like it's watching us." "Can we breach it?" Aela asked. "Maybe. It doesn't look hostile to us." The last skin showed a corridor opening when we approached. They slipped through the dome like passing through smoke. The force field didn't resist. Beyond it, a landscape of ancient metal and carved obsidian stretched out. Monoliths dotted the clearing. The air shimmered. The silence felt thick, weighted. The ship touched down. Aela stepped out into a world older than her planet's history. Her comm crackled. "Captain," Raj said. "There's a control node about 50 meters ahead. It's pulsing, same frequency as human brainwaves." She walked toward it. The monolith had no buttons, no screens, just a glowing ring of etched symbols that reacted as she approached. Then a line of text appeared, suspended in midair. Initiator detected. Stand by for interface. Aela's breath caught. Initiator, she murmured. Not intruder. Not threat. Behind her, Decker swore. Captain? Varn dropships incoming. 3 minutes out. Aela turned back to the structure. Can we extract any data? Not without triggering a full sequence, Raj said. And if we guess wrong, this whole site could melt us down to atoms. Aela weighed the risks. Copy everything you can. Then prep explosives. If we can't have it, either will they. As the team scrambled, the sky darkened. Red lights streaked through the clouds, Varn transports descending like spears. Time's up, Decker said. Aela touched the monolith once more. The glowing symbols rippled, and for a brief moment, the ring flared in a soft white light. Sequence partially accepted. Awaiting directive. Captain, Raj said breathlessly. I think it wants you to finish something. A command. A purpose. I don't have one to give. Yet. She turned away. We fall back. Now. As the Talon lifted off, gunfire lit the ruins. Varn's soldiers in exo-armor stormed the clearing, already firing. The humans answered with disciplined bursts, covering each other as the ship lifted. One stray blast slammed into the hull. Warning lights flared, but the pilot pushed the throttle. The ship roared skyward, escaping the death trap below. Aela stared through the viewport at the fading shield dome. Something down there had recognized her. Not as an enemy. Not even as a guest. As Vanguard pulled them back into orbit, she knew two things with absolute clarity. They were not just fighting to survive. They were being invited to finish something long forgotten. And the Varn weren't going to let them try. The Vanguard cruised in low orbit, its systems bruised but stable. Outside, the Varn fleet remained in tight formation, indifferent and arrogant, confident that their sheer presence was enough to keep any human vessel in check. Inside the war room, Captain Aela Monroe studied the terrain map glowing over the table. The vault's entrance had vanished beneath a fresh wave of defensive shielding since their extraction. Whatever she had triggered wasn't done yet, and now Threx's forces were deploying troops on the surface. They're setting up artillery positions on 3 ridge lines, Lieutenant Decker reported. If we go back down, we'll be walking into a crossfire. Unless they think we already left, Aela said. She tapped a blinking corner of the map. We drop here, 2 clicks from the vault. Under cloud cover. On foot the rest of the way. Raj raised an eyebrow. A full stealth op, with the Varn swarming the site? Exactly. Captain, Decker cut in. With respect, this isn't a victory mission. What are we even trying to win here? We're not trying to win, Aela said calmly. We're trying to matter. That thing down there, whatever it is, called to us. The Accord won't touch it. The Varn want to weaponize it. But if it responds to us, then maybe, just maybe, humanity has a seat at the grown-up table. Nobody replied. But nobody objected either. An hour later, a dropship slung low through storm clouds, turbines whisper quiet. The team wore dull black pressure suits designed for EM suppression. 12 boots hit the dirt in silence. The jungle here was thick, every branch beaded with strange luminescent moisture. The leaves trembled from the distant thud of Varn artillery strikes on the other side of the mountain. Keep comms tight, Aela said. Whispers only. We goes through. They moved fast, disciplined, alert, silent. Human Marines had long since learned how to make silence deadly. The forest felt older than anything on Earth, full of echoing metallic chirps and distant low hums that didn't sound entirely natural. Raj walked beside her, eyes on his scanner. The readings are off the charts. That vault isn't just running, it's reacting. The closer we get, the more active it becomes. Like it's tracking us? No, Raj said slowly. Like it's waiting. They didn't get much further before the brush ahead rustled unnaturally. Aela froze, hand up. Figures emerged, too tall, too broad-shouldered to be anything but Varn. Their armor shimmered with active camo, flickering between visible and not, like broken glass catching light. Aela dropped flat. 6 o'clock. Stealth troopers. Heavily armed. Suggestions? Raj whispered. We do what humans do best, Aela muttered. Improvise. The moment broke fast. The Varn didn't hesitate. They opened fire with particle rifles that sliced the air with a whipped crack of burning ozone. Aela's team scattered, returning bursts of fire with mechanical precision. Decker dove behind a fallen trunk and fired 2 rounds into a Varn's shoulder, staggering the brute long enough for a second Marine to finish the job. Not exactly quiet anymore, Raj shouted over the din. We adapt, Aela growled, lobbing a grenade toward the rear line. It went off with a blinding burst of EMP, frying Varn optics. Within minutes, the forest fell silent again. Bodies littered the glade, 6 Varn, 2 humans down. Aela knelt beside one of the fallen Varn. Its helmet had cracked open, revealing sharp, leathery features twisted in shock. We surprised them, Raj said, panting. Yeah, Aela murmured. No one expects the apes. They moved again, faster now, weaving through ravines and overgrown stone. Finally, the vault came into view, a towering obsidian spire, half buried in a basin, protected by concentric rings of alien machinery humming softly. But something was new. A door had opened. A sleek archway had emerged from the ground, rimmed with light. Raj stared. That wasn't there yesterday. It was waiting for us, Aela said. Inside, the air changed. Clean, filtered. The walls shimmered with silver glyphs that moved like water when they passed. No visible power source. No dust. As if the place had just been built. A platform rose as they stepped forward. Instinctively, Aela placed her palm on a central pedestal. The entire room pulsed. Then a voice, clear, genderless, ancient, echoed from the walls. Biometric sequence complete. Directive authentication in progress. The glyphs rearranged. A rotating cube of light appeared above the pedestal, displaying projections, maps, battles, alien star charts. Then it shifted to a single image. A human. Standing. Then kneeling. Then rising, fists clenched. Raj swallowed. It's a message. Or a test, Aela said. The voice returned. Origin match confirmed. Initiator viable. Directive incomplete. Submit continuation protocol. Aela looked at Raj. What does that mean? He hesitated. It wants us to finish what its builders started. Before she could respond, alarms blared in their headsets. Decker's voice crackled. Captain? Varn Assault Unit, closing fast. Full armor. ETA under 3 minutes. Aela turned. Can we shut the system down? No, Raj said. But I can force a partial lockout. It'll freeze access until the signal returns. Do it. He worked fast, fingers flying over the pedestal symbols. The projection dimmed, then blinked out. Done. But if they crack the encryption... They won't, Aela said. Because we're not going to let them. As they ran for the exit, Aela glanced back once. The vault didn't flicker or react. It just waited. Outside, the sky was no longer dark. Varn carriers were descending in force. Hundreds of them. Dropships swarming the valley like hornets. Get to the Talon, Aela ordered. We go dark and run. They sprinted, weaving through fire and debris, as plasma bolts rained down from overhead skirmishes. One blast scorched the ground inches from Aela's foot, kicking up dirt and heat. Raj stumbled. Aela yanked him up by the collar. No one gets left. They reached the dropship just as more Varn cleared the tree line. Bullets met armor. Screams followed. Decker gunned the engines, skimming the canopy, dodging incoming fire with near-suicidal grace. As the ship ascended, Aela collapsed into a seat, breathing hard. That vault, Raj gasped. It wasn't just technology. It's some kind of judgment system. Aela looked at him. We just passed the first test. The Vanguard shook as plasma strikes hammered its hull. Deep below, On the surface of Zerid Prime, fire bloomed across the forest where the vault lay buried beneath war. Shields at 43%. Decker called out from tactical. Primary cannon is offline. Hull integrity failing on decks 4 through 6. Captain Aela Monroe stood her ground, one hand braced on the railing. Smoke curled from an exposed console behind her. Evasive pattern Delta. Keep us between the Varn and the surface. We hold position as long as we can. Raj limped onto the bridge, a compression bandage wrapped tight around his thigh. We've got a problem. Aela turned, the word unspoken on her face. The vault's active again, he said. It's not waiting anymore. It's waking up. That last contact we made. I think we triggered a countdown. How long? Hours. Maybe less. But here's the kicker, it needs an energy source to finish whatever it started. A big one. Like a fusion core or a ship's reactor. Decker looked up. You mean our ship? Raj nodded. It's attuned to us, right? The vault won't accept a Varn interface. But if we connect directly, if we use the Vanguard's core, we might be able to finish activation. Or vaporize half the sector, Decker muttered. Aela didn't flinch. If Threx gets to it first, the result will be worse. Make the connection. Prep the uplink. I'll handle the rest. Far below, in the shattered jungles around the vault, Varn soldiers tightened their perimeter. A small camp bristled with heavy artillery, sensor pylons, and signal jammers. Inside the command tent, Threx Kalar watched a holographic projection flicker to life, an overhead view of the vault pulsing with deep red veins of energy. Report, he growled. One of his aides stiffened. Human ship still in low orbit. Minor damage sustained. They've refused to retreat. Threx's lips curled. So they intend to die gloriously. Typical. He studied the projection again. Something about the vault unsettled him. It was alien in a way even he didn't understand, too quiet, too deliberate. It hadn't fired, hadn't attacked. But its silence felt sharp. Intentional. He narrowed his eyes. Increase bombardment. If the humans won't run, we'll bury them beneath their precious relic. Back aboard the Vanguard, Raj finished the link. Aela stepped into the auxiliary control chamber where the ship's reactor core shimmered behind reinforced glass. You sure about this? He asked. No, she said. Do it anyway. He tapped a command. Deep within the vault, miles away, a new pulse echoed, stronger, clearer. The glyphs that had once responded only to Aela now glowed like wildfire, spiraling upward into the sky. Then the storm began. Lightning streaked across Zerid Prime's atmosphere. Clouds ignited with energy. In orbit, the Varn ships adjusted their position, but too late. The vault sent out a wave. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't a beam. It was information. Across the fleet, sensors overloaded. Communications warped. Entire command networks shut down. On Varn bridges, screens went black. Then something worse happened. The vault began broadcasting truth. Old footage. Buried records. Hidden archives of genocide, betrayal, systemic planetary destruction ordered by Varn leadership centuries ago. Real, unedited, and undeniable. Raj stared at the data stream. It's dumping galactic history. Every cover-up. Every war. Every atrocity the Accord and the Varn ever buried. Broadcasting to who? Decker asked. Everyone. Every ship, every station, every comm array in range. Aela's jaw tightened. We gave the galaxy a memory. And a reckoning. But Threx wasn't done. He launched his final assault. 3 dreadnoughts broke formation and targeted the Vanguard directly. Plasma cannons charged, aimed at the vulnerable reactor core now feeding the vault. We won't survive the next volley, Decker warned. Aela nodded. Then we take the shot before they do. Raj, redirect all auxiliary power to forward cannon. He blinked. We just finished using it to power the vault. Divert it. Now. The lights dimmed across the bridge. Systems flickered. Life support switched to backup. Decker locked onto the lead dreadnought. Target acquired. Aela didn't hesitate. Fire! The Vanguard's cannon roared to life with a focus beam so bright it carved through space like a blade. The Varn ship exploded in a ripple of soundless fire. Debris scattered in every direction. But the other two remained. They returned fire. The first strike hit the port's side. Consoles blew apart. The bridge shook. Sparks fell from the ceiling. Someone screamed. Aela hit the floor, blood in her mouth, ears ringing. Shield's gone! Decker shouted, still at her post. Raj! Aela gasped, dragging herself upright. If they breach the core. They can't, he said. The uplink's one way. But they can kill us. A moment passed between them. Then a third ship arrived, not Varn, not human. A sleek cruiser with no insignia. Accord. A dozen more followed. Decker's eyes widened. They responded to the broadcast. On the screens, alien ships of all species lit up, shields raised, weapons aimed. Not at the Vanguard. At the Varn. The tide turned. Hours later, the fires died down. The Varn fleet was shattered. Threx's flagship had fled into warp, its tail between its legs. On the bridge of the Vanguard, Aela sat in a patched chair, bruised, tired, and alive. We should have been dead 5 times over, Raj said softly. We probably will be next week, Aela muttered. But today, Decker said, we made them listen. Aela glanced at the display. The vault had gone quiet again. The broadcast was over. But its echoes were just beginning. The galaxy had been shown what the powerful had hidden for centuries. And a human ship had been the one to lift the veil. She leaned back, eyes closed for a moment. We don't burn the sky for power, she whispered. We burn it to light the way. The medbay stank of disinfectant and scorched polymer. Captain Aela Monroe sat upright on the edge of the exam table, a dressing wrapped around her ribs, dried blood on her temple. She stared at the wall, silent. Still. Raj entered, limping. His jumpsuit was half burned, hands stained with coolant. Vault's gone dormant, he said. No new signals. Just quiet now. Aela nodded. Figures. It did what it came to do. The Accord confirmed the broadcast. Every system on their side received it. Half the Council's in emergency session. And the other half? Raj shrugged. Denying everything. Too late, though. The data was raw. Unforged. No one's buying spin now. She slid off the table, biting back pain as she stood. Threx? Retreated. Limped into the Veil Expanse with what was left of his fleet. No one's heard from him since. Aela looked out the viewport. The debris of the battle still floated, trailing fire and memory across the stars. He'll be back, she said. Raj didn't argue. The Vanguard was in orbit over Zirad Prime for 3 more days, limping through repairs. Accord vessels kept a respectful distance, silent observers, wary of a human ship that had just shaken the foundations of interstellar order. When the delegation finally arrived, it wasn't a diplomat who stepped aboard. It was High Executor Aela, a towering, silver-skinned member of the oldest Accord species, the Siren. He moved with practiced grace, robes whispering as he entered the briefing room where Aela waited alone. You stand taller than your record suggests, Captain Monroe, Aela said. I didn't do it for recognition. He tilted his head. That makes it more impressive. They sat. The silence that followed felt weightier than any speech. We reviewed the vault data, he finally said. There were revelations. Some the Accord will not recover from. Good, Aela said. Aela didn't flinch. The Varn Dominion is fractured. Civil unrest has begun in 4 sectors. Your actions caused instability across a dozen systems. Truth tends to do that. He offered a thin smile. You also exposed our failure to monitor or restrict the Varn. Many of our oldest laws will now be reconsidered. Then maybe something good came from it. Aela leaned forward. And what does Earth want for this? Aela didn't hesitate. Nothing. That surprised him. We didn't do this to claim territory, or power, or play savior, she continued. We didn't activate the vault to gain an edge. We did it because no one else would. Because it was the right thing. Aela studied her a long moment. Spoken like someone who still believes in moral absolutes. I don't. I believe in choice. And we made ours. He stood. I'll relay your position. There will be debate, surely. But Earth's voice in the accord will be louder now. She rose as well. We'll use it wisely. He paused at the door. And if the Varn return? Aela's eyes narrowed slightly. Then they'll learn what every empire eventually does. Aela nodded once. That humanity doesn't back down. Later, in her quarters, Aela watched old Earth footage, the blue oceans, the swirling storms, the noise of crowded cities. Home always looked distant through the lens of war. Decker entered, holding a datapad. Thought you'd want to see this. The pad showed hundreds of images, protests in Varn-controlled territories, Accord senators stepping down, old prisoners released. One shot showed a group of children holding signs in front of an alien embassy. We saw the truth. Aela scrolled silently. They're calling it the Reckoning Stream, Decker said. Broadcasts gone viral on every network. Aela set the pad down. They'll call it something else next week. Maybe. But this part? It's real. A message alert blinked in the corner of the screen. It was from Admiral Thessa of the Earth Defense Council. Return home when able. The Council wishes to commend your crew. And begin discussions on full Accord partnership. Aela stared at the message. For so long, Earth had been the outsider. The underdog. The wild card in a table of galactic titans. Now the rules had changed. She closed the screen. The farewell to Zirid Prime was quiet. No ceremony. Just a slow break from orbit as the Vanguard turned its nose toward home. In the engine room, Raj monitored the final detachment of the uplink module. Reactor stable. All connections severed. We're flying solo again. Aela nodded from the bridge. Course laid in for Sol System, Decker said. ETA 36 hours. Take us out. The stars stretched as the ship leapt forward. Silence returned. Until Raj's voice came over the comm. You think it's over? Aela leaned back. No. Not even close. The galaxy doesn't forget power shifts. Threx will want revenge. Others will see opportunity. Chaos always follows truth. Raj's voice crackled again. And us? Aela glanced at the empty chair where her father's nameplate sat, kept from the last mission he never returned from. We'll be ready. A broadcast went out the next day. Not from a government. Not from a military channel. It came from the Vanguard, directed at every Accord system. Aela's image filled the screen, bruised, sharp-eyed, calm. To those who've watched from the shadows. To those who've ruled without consequence. To those who've forgotten what truth looks like. We didn't come here to fight your wars. We came to find something better. You underestimated us. You laughed at our ships. Our tech. Our history. You saw a species that crawled out of a dirt ball barely a few centuries ago and thought we'd stay small. But you forgot something. We don't stay small. We adapt. We resist. And when pushed hard enough, we change the game. This galaxy belongs to everyone. Not just the powerful. Not just the loudest. And if you think we'll sit quietly again. She looked directly into the lens, voice steady. You haven't been paying attention. On 1,000 worlds, across species and borders, her words echoed. And in quiet corners of the galaxy, resistance flickered to life. Not with weapons. Not yet. With memory. With defiance. And with a name that no one could ignore anymore. Humanity.